So I was going to go outside and do some, I guess like a vlog style test on both the 6300 and the 80D, but it is literally 100% humidity outside. It's going to rain any minute. It is so stifling hot down here in South Florida. It's incredible. So I'm going to wait towards the end of the day and I'll probably get outside with the two cameras. But for now, I'm going to do some testing inside. Now, a couple of things I want to bring to your attention that kind of bothered me here. One of the things is with the Sony Alpha, the way they have the memory card set up, for me, having big hands is really an issue. I haven't seen cameras that had this problem in the past. I've used a lot of them. They actually put the memory card literally right next to the door. So what happens is you push the memory card to pop it out, and then you cannot pick up the memory card like this because obviously you can see the door is in the way. And then you have to get it from the side, and it's not like there's little rough edges on the side that you can grab it and you can eventually get it out. And as you can see, I mean, I'm working at it. I'm not like messing around here. There we go. So if you need to change these cards out quickly, it might be an issue. And if you have big hands like me, it might even be more of an issue. Or maybe you're elderly and you have arthritis or some other problem with your hands. This is really going to be an issue getting that out. So that was one of one of the negatives that just kind of bothered me. As far as the 80D, obviously you have your power down at the bottom, your battery at the bottom, and then it's a bigger camera, so they can afford to have their writer on the side. You basically just push the button, take it out. As you can see, the door flips far enough out of the way. No matter what, you can still grab it from here, or you can grab it from the side. It doesn't matter. You have plenty of room to do so. So that's one of the issues. Now, another issue is I went to the back of the studio and I was going to do some overhead work. And what we do a lot of times is we'll attach the cameras to like a boom. And then we'll go and do some overhead shots. And like, for example, this lens that's on this 80D is an 18-135. So maybe we'll go down to, let's say, 80 millimeters or 100 millimeters, right? And take our shots, or maybe back it off to 50 and take some wider shots or whatnot. No problem, right? Well, with the Sony, it's a problem. And the reason it's a problem, what happens is let's say we're going up top and we're going to go and take, now this is an 18-200, we're going to go down to 100 millimeters. As soon as you let go, it does like this, right? Hope you guys can see that. So we back it out to 100 millimeters around and we let it go. And in just a moment, we're sitting at 200 millimeters, right? The only way to fix this is to come to, let's say, 100 millimeters or 50 or wherever we want to be, grab a piece of gaffer tape like this, tape the lens like this, and now you're able to go and do that shot at this, let's say 100 or 80 millimeters. Now, is that a deal breaker? No. It bothers me because, you know, this is not a cheap piece of glass either. I mean, it's not, you know, a little $100 lens. So, and this happens the same way as if you're on the floor and looking up. Let's say you're doing a shot and, you know, you're shooting up at a building, let's say like this, and you let it go, and all of a sudden you're back at, you know, wide angle 18 millimeters in comparison to 200 millimeters. You know, like I said, is it a deal breaker? No. Is it annoying? Yes, it is. If you had this camera and lens combination, I would suggest to you, take the lens off, send it into Sony, let them do repairs on it, and just kind of shore up the inside again, because this happens with zoom lenses. I've only had this happen once before with a piece of Canon glass, and I'm not sure if it was an L glass either, but it does happen sometimes. The internals get weak. This is a relatively new lens too. We're not talking about old. I mean, you can see on there, this is fresh. But anyways, like I said, I would send this in. So let me give you a little synopsis of what I'm going to do here. Instead of going outside, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record with each one of the cameras, and I'm going to put it out just like a vlog style type thing, just like this, right? And I'm going to record me, and then I'm going to shift, I'm going to let it record the Joker back there behind me. So it picks up that face, and then I'm going to have it come back to me again. And the reason I'm going to do that is many of the vloggers have told me in the past that, you know, one of the major issues that we have is that when we're out there running and gunning, so to speak, we're doing something that it just, you know, a piece that's really, really good. When we go back and we see it, we find out that our face is blurry and the guy, you know, pushing, you know, a lawnmower behind us is rock solid, you know. That's obviously a problem. It needs to be able to track the face that's closest to it. It needs to be able to track continuously and do a really good job of it. And I know that there's been some cameras in the past that vloggers have used that tracking was really good at first, and then as the months went, you know, by, it got worse and worse and worse and worse. So this is definitely an issue, and I figure I'd take a look at it. One of the other things that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at what does the Alpha look, you know, sound like as far as the internal mic, right? What does the Canon sound like with the internal mic? And then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the Rode. Now, I love this Rode mic. This is the older school Rode mic. It's probably about 2 or 3 years old now. I've used the hell out of this. This is a shotgun mic that really does a fantastic job. I'm going to attach this to the cameras and show you the difference between using a shotgun mic in comparison to using the onboard mic. And all the while, I'll be capturing with the lapel also. So we kind of get an idea of what that sounds like using the different cameras, internal mic to internal mic, using the Rode on both of them, and then also, of course, using as a reference audio the mic that's attached to me, which is the lavalier lapel mic. So anyways, that's really about it. I'm going to get right into working with these cameras and doing that vlog style, but going back and forth between the Joker and me. Let's take a look. So, all right, guys, so we're recording now with the Sony Alpha 6300. And like I said, I'm going to have this right in front of me. Now, it should be picking up my face by now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move off axis and let it allow it to pick up the Joker behind me and then kind of move it back and forth. Let's take a look at how well it does as far as going back and forth between the two of us. This is really important, like I said. When you're doing any type of vlog and you're running and gunning out there, the camera needs to be able to focus basically on you and then focus on the background, and then focus on you and then focus on the background. The idea of being able to run and gun and have the camera stick with you no matter what you're doing is very, very important. And like I said earlier, many vloggers have asked for this feature. They want to make sure the facial recognition or the facial following works really, really well. It's really important because if not, what will happen is you'll end up losing shots because all of a sudden everything behind you ends up in focus and you are out of focus. Not really good. So this right here is the Sony Alpha 6300. We're seeing how this works, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to the Canon 80D. All right, so we're going to go ahead and use the 80D. I'm going to pick up focus on myself here, just like if I was going to use it, just like any other vlogging camera. And then I'm going to move back to our friend over here, the Joker on the back wall. And then I'm going to move back onto me, like that. And then I'm going to move back onto the Joker. And it's really important, like I said, especially with the facial recognition. Pick up the eyes, pick up the mouth, pick up any type of face and be able to lock in on the closest face to the camera. It's really, really important so that you end up being in focus in comparison to everything behind you for an extended period of time. And that's what ends up happening with some of the lower end cameras is the backgrounds would be tack sharp and then you would end up being blurry. Well, that's pretty much useless. And what I'll probably do is maybe I'll zoom in, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but you can see how that is just tracking the face. You see that right there? And you can see it right here, just tracking the face. As I move around, it wants to keep that face in there. You see it right there? You can see the box around it. And that's what it's doing here with me too. When I flip this around to look at me, it's tracking. Immediately bounces over to the face. It picks up the eyes and then it keeps that square around. And I'll move back to here and let me flip this around so you guys can see it. Just like this. And you can see the square. There you go. Immediately lock in on the face. Now that's the kind of thing that we want to see. We want to see it be able to immediately see a face in the image and then just bounce right over to it. So far I would have to say, as far as internal studio testing, I would have to give it to the Canon 80D, but we'll see once we get it outside both cameras. We're going to take a look at obviously how quick and snappy it is as far as video. Snapping into facial recognition, but we're also going to take a look at the audio. So once again, guys, if you enjoyed the content, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel below so when the new content comes out, you'll get it right away. So that's it, guys. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.